The world always believed that if everything failed, a hero would save us. His smile was hope, his presence was peace, and his name alone could stop wars. But what happens when the only hero everyone trusted is the one who breaks the world? What happens when the man who promised to protect us becomes the greatest threat we have ever seen? This is the story of how hope turned into fear. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It began on a quiet morning in Metropolis. People were heading to work, children walked to school, and the sky was clear. Then news flashed across every screen. Lois Lane was gone. Not missing. Gone. There was no sign of her anywhere. Superman searched every city, every ocean, every cave, and every desert. The man who could move planets with his hands could not save the one person he loved most in the world. He begged the Justice League for help. Batman led investigations. The Flash raced across timelines. Wonder Woman questioned ancient forces. Yet there was nothing. No trace, no clue, no hope. Days passed, and the world watched Superman slowly change. His voice lost its warmth, his eyes lost their glow, and his smile disappeared. He was not grieving like a man. He was breaking like a god. When the truth came, it came like lightning. Lois was killed by a hidden group of world leaders who feared Superman's power. They believed removing his heart would control his mind. They did not understand him. They did not understand that the loss of love does not weaken a hero, it destroys what made him gentle. And the world would soon learn the cost of their mistake. Superman did not cry. He did not shout. He flew into the sky, silent and empty. When he returned, governments fell in minutes. Armies that once marched proudly dropped their weapons. Tanks melted like clay. Satellites sparked and burned. The man who once fought carefully to protect everyone now held nothing back. And the world changed in a single day, not through chaos, but through the quiet power of a broken heart. Cities did not celebrate. They trembled. They knew Superman could lift mountains, but now they understood he could also bury them. He gathered the world leaders who caused Lois's death. He did not raise his voice. He simply spoke, and the world listened. You feared I would take control. Now your fear has created the future you feared. And with that, the age of freedom ended. The Justice League tried to reason with him. Wonder Woman stood beside him first, believing she could reach the goodness inside him. But he looked at her and said, "A world with choices leads to chaos. I will bring peace no matter the cost." She saw then that he was not angry. He was certain. And certainty from a god is more dangerous than wrath. The Flash tried next. He reminded Superman of laughter, hope, and the people he once protected. But Superman simply placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "They do not need a hero. They need a ruler." Flash stepped back, knowing what came next. Speed means nothing when the opponent does not hesitate. And Superman no longer hesitated. He was sure of every action, every decision, every consequence. Batman was the last one to speak. He did not attack. He did not shout. He simply said, "I understand." Superman paused, because those were the last words he ever expected. Batman explained that pain can twist even the strongest heart, and he stood with him not as a rival, but as a friend. But even then, Superman could not return to who he was. His heart had changed forever. Superman told Batman, "You always planned for the day I would fall. Now I ask you, did you ever plan for the day I would rise?" Batman said nothing. Because the answer was no. He prepared for monsters, tyrants, and conquerors. But not a savior who believed peace must be forced. And that was the difference. Superman did not see himself as a villain. He saw himself as the only hope left. Under his rule, war ended. Hunger ended. Crime disappeared. The world became quiet. But it was a silent world, fearfully obedient, stripped of choice. Children learned to smile only when cameras looked at them. People stopped asking questions. And cities stood tall and beautiful, but empty of joy. Peace existed, yes. But it was a peace built from chains. There were those who still resisted. Small groups hidden in shadows. They called themselves the Sparks, believing one spark was enough to start a fire that could restore freedom. Batman led them. Not because he wanted to fight Superman, but because he believed the world deserved a chance to choose their future, even if that future was imperfect. Superman knew Batman would resist. He allowed it. He was not afraid. He believed Batman would eventually understand. That one day he would agree that peace without pain was the only way. But Batman's heart had not changed. He believed love grows from struggle, strength rises from mistakes, and freedom is worth any risk. Their bond was now a silent war. The world watched as former brothers stood on different sides. Superman flew above the world like a guardian shadow. Batman walked through the dark like a stubborn flame. One believed peace was control. The other believed peace was choice. And the world stood between them, held in balance by two hearts once united by justice. The turning point came when a little girl approached Superman in the street. She was not afraid. She held a drawing of him helping people. She said, "You used to smile." Superman froze. For the first time in years, he felt something. Not grief. Not rage. A memory. He remembered laughter. He remembered light. And it shook him more than any battle ever could. He flew to the fortress of solitude, where memories of Lois waited like ghosts. He listened to old recordings of her voice. He remembered how she believed in people, how she trusted them to grow, fail, learn, and change. He realized he had taken the world she loved and turned it into something she would never recognize. The world expected a final war. Batman gathered the sparks. Superman floated above the world, glowing like a fallen star. But neither moved. They simply looked at each other. Two men, shaped by pain, love, and duty. They did not need words. They understood each other completely. The battle the world feared would never happen. There was nothing left to fight over. Superman released the world. He ended his rule. Governments regained control, and freedom returned. But the world did not celebrate. They did not forget what had happened. They learned that even the best heart can break. Even the greatest hero can fall. And even peace can become a cage. Superman did not disappear. He wandered the world quietly, helping where he could, without titles, without glory. He knew he could never undo the past, but he could learn from it. He helped people rebuild homes, plant crops, save lives. Not as a god. Not as a ruler. But as a man trying to find himself again. The world remembers him differently now. Not as a perfect hero. Not as a fearful ruler. But as a reminder that power must be guided by love, not pain. Hope is not born from strength alone, but from compassion. And somewhere, in a quiet corner of the world, Superman stands alone beneath the sun, trying to learn how to smile again. Thank you for watching this story to the end. See you in the next chapter.